Hi, welcome to the live stream. We'll get started in just a few minutes. For those who just joined us, welcome to the live stream. We're going to get started in just a couple minutes. For those who are just joining us, welcome to the live stream. We're going to get started in about a minute. We're going to go ahead and get started now. I want to introduce our Executive Director, Michael Brune, who's going to start us off.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. My name is Michael Brune, and I'm the Executive Director of the Sierra Club. I just want to say I'm so happy that you all are here with us today to hear about our plan to defeat Donald Trump in November. Let me just start by saying it's really exciting to see so many people on this call, even in a moment as difficult and unpredictable as this one. People are tuning into this live stream from every state in the country to hear about how all of us will work together to not only defeat Donald Trump, but to do so much more. I think it's fair to say that all of us have our own reasons for tuning into this live stream on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. Many of you are members and supporters of the Sierra Club. Thank you so much for all your support and engagement. And many of you may be new to the Sierra Club or even new to electoral politics altogether. Either way, thank you so much for all that you're doing. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I can't wait to tell you about the work that we're going to be doing together and all that we can accomplish together. We will be tapping into the Sierra Club's trusted brand. We're tapping into the Sierra Club's grassroots network with a chapter in every state. And we're tapping into the Sierra Club's 3.8 million members and supporters to build a massive volunteer program that will take on the urgent task of kicking Donald Trump out of the White House. Sierra Club, as you know, has been working to protect the planet for 128 years. Over the last decades, we have built an army of advocates and organizers and allies all across the country. We are ready for this moment. And in addition to helping our country get a new president, we're focused on getting the country new Senate leadership, flipping the Senate, protecting the House, and electing true environmental champions in state and local races all across the country. We are committed to an America that is powered by 100% clean, renewable energy in a transition that will create millions of good, family-sustaining union jobs. We're committed to clean air, clean water, healthy parks, and healthy forests that are accessible to everyone. We're committed to a country that is built on a foundation of racial, economic, and gender equity, where all people benefit from a healthy planet and a direct connection to nature. But instead of lifting people up, instead of using science to flatten the curve of both emissions and infections, and instead of lifting people up in a way that inspires folks, Donald Trump distorts the truth, muzzles scientists, and uses fear and chaos and race baiting and scapegoating to divide us. The status quo means that poor communities and people of color will breathe dirtier air and drink unsafe water. The status quo means that disparities in wealth will continue to exacerbate disparities in health, where frontline communities and Indigenous peoples are exposed to the worst consequences of inaction and injustice. We are not alone. We are not alone. We will be joining together with millions of people from all walks of life to fight for our future. Our strategy centers on making ourselves, our movement, and our democracy more equitable, more inclusive, more fair, and more diverse. This is the most important election of our lives. Defeating Donald Trump and flipping the Senate and protecting the House, all of these things have always been important. But COVID-19 has underscored the urgency of our task. It's also made our work more challenging. The stay-at-home orders and the social distancing that we're all practicing, these are all essential to public health. They've also changed our plans in 2020 quite a bit. And so we're excited to roll out a full plan on this call for how you, in the comfort of your own home, can take action in the next 178 days, which if you're not counting exactly, is how many days we have between now and Election Day. So one element of our plan is that we're going to be focusing on the places that matter the most. Sierra Club Independent Action is running a massive grassroots voter contact program in at least 4 key battleground states. These 4 battleground states we will be contacting millions of voters are Arizona, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Florida. Don't worry, we're going to be doing lots of other work in additional states, but if we do our jobs well, we will flip those 4 states and we will have impacts all across the country where not only, again, are we winning the presidency and flipping the Senate and protecting the House, but we're electing champions of ours up and down the ballot. Another element of our plan is to stand together across differences of race and class and gender. This week, millions of Americans took action to protest the horrific murder of Ahmaud Arbery. Ahmaud was murdered by 2 white men. Ahmaud was an African-American man who was murdered by 2 white men in Georgia while going on a jog in his own neighborhood. The Sierra Club believes that nobody should fear for their lives when they step outdoors. Yet far too often, we are reminded that so many Americans are targets of profiling and hatred and brutality. In this election and in our everyday work, Sierra Club, we see the differences between us as a source of strength and a source of enlightenment, not an opportunity to divide and alienate and isolate ourselves from each other. Another element of our plan is to be persistent. We will not be giving up after Election Day. We will continue to work to leverage our electoral victories into legislative victories and administrative action. We know that winning elections is imperative, never more so than in 2020. But we also know that it's not enough. We can't give up. The next president is going to need our support, is going to need our engagement, particularly when it comes back to pushing back on corporate special interests who are abusing their power. But the next president and leadership in Congress will also need us to hold that president and to hold the leadership in Congress accountable and to make sure that that we're holding them accountable to a high set of standards. So our plan is that the day after the election, maybe we'll take a morning off, but right after the election, we will be pivoting immediately to continue to fight for the change that we need. This includes having the president make executive appointments of people that are strong and ambitious. It includes prioritizing and passing key legislation. And it includes immediately rolling back all of the abuses of the Trump administration and putting out the dumpster fire that this administration has been. The key to this work, the key to all of this work, is massive participation from people like you. It's the only way that we win. And it's the way that we've always won. The way that we helped to defeat more than 200 proposed coal plants all across the country, massive volunteer engagement. The way that the Sierra Club and our allies have helped to protect hundreds of millions of acres over the last century, creating national parks and wilderness areas and wildlife refuges, massive volunteer engagement. It's how we've won, and it's how we will defeat Donald Trump. It's how we will defeat Mitch McConnell, and it's how we'll bring decency back to our country. We have to immediately get to work by contacting voters across the nation, especially in our battleground states. So here's what it'll take. Here's my big ask of everyone on this call. Two things. Number one, we need you to dedicate close to 2 weeks to volunteer full-time during the Get Out the Vote period. That is from Saturday, October 24th, all the way to and through Tuesday, November 3rd. That's full-time for at least 11 days. We are not messing around. You will be put to work. You will be contacting thousands of voters. You will have fun. You will play a meaningful role, and you will make an enormous difference. This is how we will win, and this is the most important thing that you can do. It's number one. Second request, between now and October 24th is a really important period. And so we're asking everybody on this call to devote 3 hours a week to making phone calls, sending text messages, and writing letters to infrequent voters. These are easy things to do, but they are essential to winning. I can't make it any more simple. It's as simple as that. We need massive voter engagement, and this is how we win. And this is how we accomplish amazing things together. So I would like everybody on this call right now to go to sc.org/GOTV. That's sc.org/GOTV and sign up to do something big. When you go to this webpage, you'll see that you can sign up to make phone calls. You can sign up to write letters. You can sign up to send text messages. All of these things are part of our 2020 Battleground program. You can sign up for one of these teams, or you can do what I'm doing, which is sign up for all 3 of these teams. And Sierra Club staff and volunteers will be in touch to guide you with next steps. So once again, please go to sc.org/GOTV and sign up. I'm telling you, it's easy, it is rewarding, you will make an enormous difference, and you will be glad that you did. And now to talk a little bit more about the voters that we're contacting and how we do it, I will pass it off to the illustrious, the one and the only Ariel Hayes.
Thanks so much, Mike. Hi, everyone. I'm Ariel Hayes. I'm the Sierra Club's National Political Director, which is truly an amazing job. I'm really excited and thrilled to see so many people on this live stream today ready to hear about how they can get involved in the 2020 elections. Everyone knows that things are uncertain right now, but like Mike mentioned, the current situation only underscores the importance of the work that we have ahead of us. This is really the most consequential election of our lifetime, and I just want to take a second here to reflect on what the stakes are. Even before 2016, we all knew we had no time to waste in addressing the climate crisis, but with Trump in the White House, we're now facing a real emergency. The IPCC report that was released in 2018 really brought a lot of sobering news. If we continue on our current path and temperatures rise more than 4 degrees Celsius, we will face droughts, famine, fire, floods, refugee crises, and political instability around the world. We only have 10 years left to radically shift our energy production, business models, land management, and policies in order to avoid that scenario. To make the changes we need as quickly as science demands, we need to have elected officials pushing at every level of government, both from the White House, but all the way down to city councils across our country. We have to win big in 2020, and that's at every level of the government. However, the Sierra Club is uniquely positioned to respond to this crisis. While we could not have anticipated the sequence of events that led to Trump's presidency, we have spent decades building an army of advocates, organizers, and allies all around the country who are ready for this movement. All of you who are on this call today have an important role to play. So to avert the climate catastrophe, the Sierra Club Independent Action is launching our largest political mobilization ever in Sierra Club's history. We've been protecting the planet for 128 years, but we've never faced a crisis like the one we face today. And we've never done anything like we're going to do between now and this November over the next 178 days. So like Mike said, we're going to focus on talking to voters in 4 key 2020 battleground states: Arizona, Florida, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. As we all know, there are other swing states, but these 4 are essential. If we win them, Trump loses. If we lose them, Trump wins. It's really that simple. And everyone on this call has a role to play in making sure that we win. So we're going to be going all in to make sure that we do win. In those 4 states, the total margin that Trump won by in 2016 was under 260,000 votes. 260,000 votes across only 4 states. So we have identified more than 1.3 million voters who care about addressing the climate crisis and protecting the environment, but who are either undecided or vote infrequently. If we work together, we can identify, persuade, and ensure that we have a winning margin of voters to get out and vote in support of a pro-climate president. If we do our jobs well, we can blow past Trump's 2016 win margin. And the core of that strategy is person-to-person communication. Political scientists have done extensive research on what campaign tactics are effective at winning votes. And it turns out that nothing is more effective than people talking to people. That's why we're putting people at the center of our strategy. If we can organize enough volunteers, all of us on this call, we can contact enough voters and we will win. So we're hoping that by the time the elections get close, it'll be safe for people to talk to their neighbors and their friends and their family in person about the election. But right now, we've adjusted our 2020 Battleground program to include 3 main ways that volunteers can contact voters remotely. So as Mike said, all of you from your own homes can make a huge impact in this 2020 election by doing some pretty simple things. Our goal is to organize 10,000 volunteers across the country to send a total of 1 million personal handwritten letters, make 2 million phone calls, and send 7.5 million text messages to climate and environmental voters in our 4 priority states. So we're going to be talking to voters who we believe care about the environment, but are infrequent voters, meaning they may not vote. Us contacting them and talking to them about voting may well be the difference between them turning out to vote or not. So if you want to get started on one of these teams or all three of these teams, please go to sc.org/GOTV to sign up. Again, that's sc.org/GOTV to sign up. When you go to this page, you'll see an option to sign up for the letter writing team, the texting team, or the calling team. I really encourage everyone to sign up for as many teams as they can. Even make it a competition with your friends and family about who can write more letters or make more phone calls or send more text messages. So to wrap things up and talk more about what you can expect as a volunteer with our Battleground program, I'm going to hand it off to the wonderful woman who's running a lot of this work and engaging so many of our volunteers, Monique White.
Thanks, Ariel. And hi, everyone. I'm Monique White, and I'm the Sierra Club's National Electoral Manager. I really appreciate you all for getting on this call and for signing up to contact voters all across the nation. Like Ariel and Mike both mentioned, there's only 178 days left until the 2020 election, and we have a massive goal of sending 1 million handwritten letters, making 2 million phone calls, and sending over 7.5 million texts to voters all across the nation, with an emphasis on voters in our battleground states. Hopefully, you've already signed up to be a Battleground volunteer. I'm going to spend some time right now talking about what it's like to volunteer so that you have an idea of what to expect. If you're still on the fence, this is where I'll hopefully answer any questions or hesitations that you may have. But please know, you can always email us at answers.political@sierraclub.org. Again, that's answers.political@sierraclub.org. We have a great team there to answer your questions. So first, I want to talk about our call team. Our calling team will spend the next 178 days making calls to voters to simply ask them who they plan to vote for. We'll share our reasons for voting and also ask about the issues that matter to them as a voter. Doing this over the next couple of months will give us a really good idea of who we need to make sure has a concrete plan to vote closer to the election, who needs to be persuaded, and who we shouldn't call back. We'll also spend time calling Sierra Club members and supporters throughout the summer to get them involved in the program and to invite them to important battleground events. If you join our calling team, we'll train you on how to use a computer-based dialer service. The only thing that you need to get started is a computer and Wi-Fi, although some people prefer to use their phone and headphones as well. The dialer masks your phone number, and you'll be connected only to people who pick up the phone. This means that more of your time is spent actually talking to voters instead of just dialing. To sign up for the call team, please select the call team checkbox on the form at sc.org/GOTV. This is a really important team, and spending time on the dialer is a great way to talk to voters all over the country who are ready to talk about our political process. Second, I want to talk about our letter writing team. Our letter writing team will spend the next 178 days writing handwritten letters to voters. The letters we're asking you to send are half pre-written and half blank for you to personalize. We'll ask you to print off batches of 10 letters at a time, customize them, and then hang on to them until October. We'll be sending these letters closer to November 3rd so that they're most effective. We're asking people to commit to writing at least 10 letters a week. So if you started this upcoming week, you would write over 200 letters to voters. This will be covered in the training, but there are options for people without access to a printer, and you won't need to use your own return address on the envelope. To sign up for the letter writing team, please select the letter writing team checkbox on the form at sc.org/GOTV. Writing letters is easy to do and also a fun thing to work on while you're watching TV or spending time virtually with friends. We even have regular letter writing team parties so that we can write letters together. Lastly, I want to ask you to join our texting team. Our texting team will spend the next 178 days sending texts to voters to ask them who they're planning to vote for. Like the call team, this information will be crucial for us to collect now so that we can spend that critical time right before the election reaching out to the voters that we know we need to make a plan to vote or need an extra push. We'll also spend time texting Sierra Club members or supporters to ask them to get involved in the program. We're using a texting program called Hustle, and all you need to get started is access to a computer or smartphone and a phone. So to sign up for the texting team, please select the texting team checkbox on the form at sc.org/GOTV. Sending texts is a fun and efficient way to reach a ton of people in a relatively short amount of time. Whichever team or combination of teams you choose to join, please know that we'll be here to support you every step of the way. Our team of organizers is ready to get to work alongside everyone with guides, training videos, team calls, and a number of other remote tools so that you feel supported in the work. You'll receive an email with next steps for the teams that you signed up for as soon as you submit the form at sc.org/GOTV. So now that you know a little bit more about how all the teams work, I'm going to ask for the final time. Please join us this year in defeating Donald Trump and electing climate champions down ballot by joining our 2020 Battleground program. Every single one of you has the capacity to reach thousands of voters, and we all have the tools and materials that you need to get started right away. If you're ready, please fill out the form at sc.org/GOTV. Again, that's sc.org/GOTV. Some folks have also been asking if they can help financially, and the answer is yes, you can. If you have the ability to donate, please go to sc.org/SCIA donate. Again, that's sc.org/SCIA donate. You can always email us if you have questions at answers.political@sierraclub.org. Again, that's answers.political@sierraclub.org. On behalf of Mike, Ariel, and the entire Sierra Club, I want to thank you all for taking time today to tune in and get involved. I can't wait to get to work with the people on this call and to defeat Donald Trump in 2020. Thank you again.